I tapped the screen by accident. That's all it was. I wasn't snooping. I didn't even know her passcode until last month when she said, "In case of emergency." Now I wish I never did. We were on the couch, her head in my lap, half asleep. She handed me her phone to play music. Spotify was open, but a banner at the top said, "J Yoga. Can't wait to see you tonight." Tonight? My thumb hovered. I hesitated. Then I tapped. The message thread opened like a trapdoor under my feet. Dozens of messages, weeks, maybe months' worth. Photos, language I never heard from her before. Mocking, filthy, cruel. I told Alex I was working late. He bought it. God, he's so clueless. Tonight I'll wear the red one you like. The dumb history nerd thinks I'm grading papers. I stared at the screen. Her breathing deepened, steady against my leg. She was asleep. I felt nothing. No rush of anger, no sting of tears, just a spreading coldness like ice under my ribs. I scrolled. "Can't wait to be done with this stupid wedding," one read. "Such a waste of time." A few lines down. "At least he'll pay for the honeymoon. We'll get a free trip out of it before I get cold feet." That's when my hand started shaking. Not out of rage, out of sheer clarity. I turned the brightness down, slipped out from under her, and walked to the kitchen. I grabbed my laptop, plugged in her phone, and backed everything up. Screenshots, message logs, dates, times. I labeled them like a fucking exhibit folder. I sat there for over an hour, in the dim glow of the fridge light, scrolling through the unraveling of my life like it was someone else's story. The kind I taught about in class. Betrayal, masks, the rot beneath the surface. She stirred once, came into the kitchen, rubbing her eyes. "Baby, you okay?" I looked up at her. The woman I was going to marry in 10 days. The woman I bought a ring for, practiced vows for, shared a toothbrush drawer with. And I said, "Yeah, just couldn't sleep." She smiled, kissed me on the cheek, and went back to bed. I didn't follow. Instead, I opened our shared wedding folder on my laptop and started canceling things. Venue. Gone. Florist. Canceled. Photographer. Deposit eaten. The guest list, her mother's seating chart spreadsheet, the ridiculous cupcake tower, deleted. I opened our honeymoon itinerary, Cancun, all-inclusive, ocean view suite, and clicked Cancel Reservation. There was a fee. I didn't care. By 4 a.m., the wedding was dead. She was still asleep when I packed a bag, quiet as snowfall, and left. I didn't take much, just a change of clothes, my documents, the flash drive. As I pulled out of our driveway, the morning light just beginning to rise, I thought of the message she sent him. "The dumb history nerd thinks I'm grading papers." I was. Now I was grading you. I drove aimlessly for an hour before I realized where I was heading. Emma's parents lived on the edge of town, a tidy 2-story house with wind chimes on the porch and a faded welcome sign that had always made me feel like family. I used to bring wine to Sunday dinners here, helped her dad install their new water heater last fall. Her mom once said, "You're the best thing that ever happened to Emma." I parked on the curb and stared at the house. It was early. The street was quiet. My heart wasn't racing. It was just steady. I rang the bell. It took a minute before her father opened the door, still in pajamas. His surprise turned into concern when he saw my face. "Alex, everything okay? I need to talk to you and Marilyn. Both of you. Now." He stepped aside without a word. They sat on the couch. Her mom looked worried, pulling her robe tighter. I stayed standing. I didn't want to sit. I wanted them to see it all at eye level. "I'm sorry to come like this," I said, "but I can't go through with the wedding, and you need to know why." I handed him the flash drive. "What is this?" "Just plug it in." They did. I watched them read. No sound except for the slow scroll of the mouse wheel. Her mom covered her mouth. Her dad's jaw set like stone. They didn't ask if it was real. Her mom started crying, not delicate sniffles, the sound of something breaking. Her father shut the laptop slowly and sat back, as if trying to keep from flipping the table over. "How long?" he asked, voice dry. "Months," I said. "Who is this J Yoga?" "Josh," I said. "The instructor from her Tuesday night class, the one she said helped her with back pain." Her mom sobbed harder. Her father looked at me, not like a man who wanted to fix it, but like a man who'd been punched in the stomach and was still deciding whether to get back up. "She's at home?" Marilyn asked through her tears. "Still asleep," I said. "I didn't wake her. I wanted you to know first." They both nodded. I didn't stay long after that. There wasn't much more to say. I thanked them. For what? I wasn't sure. And walked out into the daylight. My phone buzzed 3 times while I was in the car. Emma. I didn't answer. Instead, I drove to a hotel across town. I booked 2 nights, paid in cash. I needed space to think, to breathe, to be a person outside of what she'd made me. That evening, I called every vendor again, just to confirm the cancellations. Every time they asked, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yes." I never gave a reason. By the time I was done, the wedding didn't exist anymore. She called again and again, left voicemails. I didn't listen. It wasn't silence I needed, it was control. The hotel room smelled like antiseptic and old air conditioning. I lay on the bed, shoes on, staring at the popcorn ceiling, trying to remember how to breathe normally. The numbness I'd carried like armor started cracking sometime around midnight. I'd thought if I moved fast enough, canceled everything, showed her parents, took control, I could outrun the weight of it. But that's not how betrayal works. It waits, patient, quiet, and when you stop moving, it climbs on top of you. I started shaking. My stomach turned. I stumbled to the bathroom, dropped to my knees, and threw up in the sink. The next hour was a blur. Water running, lights off, door cracked. I couldn't stop pacing. Couldn't stop seeing the texts, her words, the smirking emojis, the jokes at my expense. "God," she laughed at me. Every "I love you," she whispered while curling into my chest. Every time she reached for my hand in public, every talk about kids, it was all theater. A long, cruel play where I was the idiot wearing a tux and a target. I sat on the floor back against the cold bathroom tile, and I cried. Not quietly, not like in the movies. My body just came apart. I gasped and choked and hit the cabinet hard enough to leave a bruise. I'd never been this person before. I didn't recognize the sounds coming out of me. Somewhere around 3 a.m., I started texting her. I didn't mean to. I just needed to scream, and I didn't want to scream into the void. But I never sent them. Why? Was any of it real? Was I that boring? Do you even feel sorry? I stared at the blinking cursor, thumbs shaking, then deleted every word. She didn't deserve my pain, but the weight of that decision almost crushed me. I checked her socials like an addict. Nothing suspicious. Nothing posted. She looked like someone gearing up for a wedding, probably still asleep in our bed, probably dreaming of Cancun. I hated myself for wondering if she missed me. I ordered whiskey from room service. I don't even like whiskey. It burned going down, but I wanted the hurt. I needed to feel something I could manage. In the mirror, I looked hollow, pale. There was a new line between my eyebrows I didn't recognize. My phone buzzed again. Her name. Again. I answered. There was silence. Then, "Alex?" My throat closed. Her voice was small, cautious. "Where are you?" she asked. I didn't speak. "Babe, I woke up and you were gone and What's happening? Are you okay?" I hung up, turned the phone off. I don't know what I expected. Some cinematic closure? A confession? Number. There was nothing she could say that would matter. I fell asleep fully dressed, bottle on the nightstand, her voice still echoing in my head like a curse I couldn't shake. In the morning, I didn't feel better, but I wasn't the same. The next morning, I checked out of the hotel without breakfast. I drove across town to the school where I taught, let myself in with the early access key, and sat at my desk in the empty classroom. The silence was different there, less oppressive, more surgical. I opened my laptop and created a new folder. Closure. Not revenge, closure. I printed the screenshots. Chronologically, clean layout, one message per page. I didn't highlight anything. The words spoke for themselves. Then I called in a favor. Nina was the school counselor. We'd worked together for years, but never talked outside staff meetings or the occasional awkward coffee in the teacher's lounge. Still, I trusted her. She had that unshakable, clear-eyed kindness, the kind that never spills into pity. "Hey," I said when she answered. "Can I ask something personal?" She paused. "Sure." "Would you be willing to read something ugly and give me your honest reaction?" 30 minutes later, she sat across from me, pages spread between us, her glasses slipping down her nose as she read. She didn't speak for a long time. When she finished, she looked up at me and said, "You want to know if you're crazy for not yelling, for not making a scene?" I nodded. "You're not," she said. "This is cold, surgical. It's the clearest I've ever seen someone in pain." I felt my chest loosen for the first time in days. Not relief, just confirmation. "What are you going to do?" she asked. "I'm going to hand this to Emma, that's all." Just hand it to her? She doesn't get a fight. She doesn't get my anger. Just the truth. She nodded. "Do you want me there?" I blinked. "Why?" "Because I don't think you should be alone when you walk away from that kind of fire." I didn't say yes. But when I parked in front of Emma's apartment later that afternoon, Nina was in the passenger seat. I walked up, knocked. She opened the door in sweatpants, no makeup, hair in a tangled bun. Her face lit up, actually lit up. "Oh my God, Alex, thank God." She reached for me. I stepped back. Her smile faltered. What is it? Where did you go? I've been—" I handed her the folder. She frowned, flipped through the first few pages, then stopped. Her face went white. I didn't speak. "I can explain—" "No," I said flat. "You can't." She flipped more pages. Her hand covered her mouth. I took a breath. "The wedding's canceled. Everything's refunded or paid off. You don't have to worry about any of it." Tears welled up in her eyes. "Alex, please, I made a mistake." "You didn't make a mistake. You made choices." I handed her the last page, the one with her free trip message. "That's your legacy," I said. "That's what I get to remember." Nina waited at the car. She didn't ask questions when I slid back into the driver's seat. We drove in silence, but it wasn't the old silence. This one was clean. I planned it like a lesson. Time, place, order of presentation, every variable accounted for. I wasn't improvising anymore, I was executing. Emma asked to meet. "I just need 10 minutes, she said. Face to face." I agreed, not out of hope, out of necessity. We met at a quiet coffee shop on the edge of town. Midday, mostly empty, the kind of place where people murmured over laptops and mugs, where nothing dramatic ever happened. Perfect. She was already there when I arrived, sitting at a back table. She stood as I approached, eyes wide, hopeful. "Alex," she said. I didn't sit right away. I looked at her, really looked. Her hands trembled as she reached for the cup. She looked tired, smaller. I sat across from her, folded my hands, waited. She opened her mouth, but the words caught. "I was stupid," she said finally. "I panicked. We were getting close, and I got scared. I didn't know how to say it, and Josh, he was nothing, Alex. It was escapism, not love. I said nothing. She kept going. You and I, we had something real. I don't expect you to forgive me today, or tomorrow, but maybe. I slid a small envelope across the table. She looked down. What's this? Copy of the texts, the ones I didn't show your parents. Her fingers closed around it. She looked back at me. Why? In case you forget what you destroyed. Her face crumpled. I didn't mean to hurt you, I swear. You didn't just hurt me, Emma. You humiliated me. You reduced me to a prop in your lie. And I still didn't scream. I didn't post. I didn't torch your life. Tears spilled down her cheeks. I didn't want to lose you, she whispered. I leaned forward. You lost me the moment you laughed at me in that text. She nodded like she already knew. I stood. You don't need to contact me again, I said. This is the end. She reached for my wrist. Alex, please, just tell me there's a chance. Some future where we fix this. I looked at her hand on mine, then at her eyes, and said quietly, You broke it. I'm not here to fix it. I walked out, didn't look back. In the parking lot, I saw Josh. He was sitting in a black SUV, windows down, waiting. Our eyes met. Just a flicker of recognition. No words. He looked away first. I got in my car, started the engine, and drove. Not fast, not triumphant, just forward. It's been a year. The air in Denver is colder, sharper. My new classroom smells like dry erase markers and chalk dust. The kids don't know what I left behind. They just know Mr. Whitaker loves history and doesn't take crap. Every morning, I make coffee before the sun rises. I walk to work. I grade papers in a quiet apartment where no one lies to me. Emma still writes, emails, a birthday text. Once, a voicemail crying. I never respond. This morning, I opened the balcony door and stood in the cold, watching the city wake up. Steam from the mug curled into the sky, disappearing fast. A notification buzzed on my phone. Her name again. I turned the screen over, left it face down on the table. I sipped my coffee, didn't move.